In this video, I'm going to be building the best possible team right now in NBA 2K23, my team with unlimited amounts of MT and every single reward card in the game, and just showing you guys what is the best possible team you guys can build right now in NBA 2K23, my team. But at the starting point guard position, we are going to go for the best point guard in the game, and I think that's going to be Pink Diamond Penny Hardaway. I do think him and the number 2 point guard are actually very close, but for me, I'm going to have to give that starting position, that starting point guard spot to Penny Hardaway, 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. Nothing too crazy about Penny Hardaway. He's just going to be a very well-rounded point guard. Obviously 6'7", so a great height for the point guard spot. He can knock down threes, drive to the basket, and play some very good defense with having Hall of Fame claim breaker, dimer, hyperdrive, killer combos, and quick first step as well, having a 93 ball handle and a 93 speed with ball. So nothing too crazy on Penny Hardaway. Like I said, he isn't going to be anything too flashy, but he is going to be the best point guard and the starting point guard for this lineup. Now talking about the best shooting guard in the game and our starting shooting guard, and that is going to be the Dark Matter Dr. J. I think he is easily the best shooting guard in the game. I mean, there's guys like Kobe, Ricky, Jordan that we'll talk about later in the video, but I mean, for me, I think Dr. J has a bit of an edge over those guys because he's 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan, and his stats are damn near perfect. I mean, 93 ball, 95 mid-range, super fast, 96 speed, 96 acceleration. He's also one of the best rim runners in the game, 98 driving dunk, 98 vertical, with having Hall of Fame acrobat, aerial wizard, fast switch, village finisher, limitless takeoff, posterizer, slithery. I mean, defensively, he's a beast, 92 steal, 94 lateral quickness, 94 perimeter, even has an 85 block and an 86 interior defense. So for the shooting guard position, going to be one of the best defenders in the game, and he's also got the Hall of Fame claim breaker and the quick first step as well. I will say for this card, the only badge in the game that you really have to add is going to be the limitless range. Other than that, I mean, the card is pretty much perfect, except for when you come to the animation screen. He does have a really good jump shot. I would like to see it be a little bit faster, so if it was on quick timing, it would make the card a lot better. And the same thing with the leaner, going from pro to normal. The normal leaner is the best leaner in the game, and it is a lot better than pro, but he does have the MJ dribble style and the Kobe Bryant escape. So Dr. J going to be our starting shooting guard. Now for the starting small forward spot, I mean, this one's pretty obvious. It's going to be the Pink Diamond Tim Thomas. He's still the best card in the game, so at the small forward spot, I mean, he obviously is going to be the first choice. I think everybody would agree with that decision. You know, shooting guard, I think most people would agree with Dr. J and Penny Hardaway, but I mean, Tim Thomas is the clear choice at the small forward spot. He's 6'10" with a 7'2" wingspan, can play the power forward and small forward position. I mean, the card stats are super well rounded. He's got some amazing Hall of Fame badges as well, including Agent 3, Amped, Catch and Shoot, Corner Specialist, Deadeye. He's got Hall of Fame Claim Breaker and Quick First Step on a 6'10" small forward is insane to have, but that's not the best thing about this Tim Thomas card. It's when you come to the animation screen, he's got one of the best, if not the best jump shot in the game in my team right now, and he's got some of the best dribble sigs, the John Wall escape, the Steve Francis size up, probably the best size up in the game, and what makes his card super elite movement wise on the offensive end. And he does have the MJ dribble style and the normal leaner as well. So I mean, this Tim Thomas card going to be the best small forward in the game and the best card in the game, and he is going to be our starting small forward. Now for the power forward position, I do think there's a couple different choices you could go with, but for me, I think it's going to be pretty obvious, and that's going to be Pink Diamond Giannis. I mean, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. This card is an absolute beast, does everything at a very high level, right? He's going to be a great defender, 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan, has one of the best player models in the game, and gets some of the best defensive animations in my team as well. I mean, you could take a look at his stats and badges. He also does have Hall of Fame claim breaker and quick first step, which is going to be really nice to have on your power forward. So if you guys are building the squad, obviously I don't think anybody in the game, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody in the game that does have this squad that I'm going to build, but I wouldn't say everyone has this squad. But if you're trying to build it, I mean, having a guy like Giannis at the power forward position with Hall of Fame claim breaker and quick first step, like, that is super nice to have, and he's going to be all around one of the best defenders in the game and super good at going to the basket, having a 95 driving dunk, 88 vertical, Hall of Fame bully, and posterizer as well. So he's going to be our starting power forward. Now for the center position, it's going to be between two centers for me. It's going to be between Pink Diamond Kareem and Diamond Kristaps. Now, I don't think Kristaps is the best center in the game, nor do I think he's a top 3 center, but the thing with Kristaps is him next to a guy like Giannis is a super nice pairing, because Kristaps is the best popper in the game, having a 93 ball and one of the best releases, with also having some amazing Hall of Fame shooting badges. So he's going to make up for Giannis's lack of shooting, because if you go with a guy like Kareem can definitely knock down the 3 ball at a pretty high level, but he's not going to be a great 3-point shooter. He only has a 63 ball, as I'll show you guys in a second on 2KDB. He only has a 63 ball and no shooting badges. Now, he can knock down threes. Like I was saying, he has a great jump shot, and this card shoots a lot more threes than you guys would think, or at least makes a lot more threes than you guys would think. But I'm really torn, of what center to go with next to a guy like Giannis. I think for now, I'll leave it with Kareem, but I think you really could go with Kristaps because he's a really good pairing next to a guy like Giannis. So yeah, guys, that's going to be my best starting lineup in the game. Let me know what you guys think about the starting lineup as well. And now we'll start talking about the bench. So at the backup point guard position, and I think the bench is where stuff gets a little bit tricky. I think the starting lineup, a lot of people would agree with that, at least for the best starting lineup in the game. Obviously, some changes and some differences in maybe the point guard, center, but I think the shooting guard, small forward, and power forward is going to be the pretty obvious choices. But for the bench, this is where stuff gets a little bit interesting. For me, honestly, guys, I'm going with Shea. I think Shea is the second best point guard in the game. I know not that many people might agree with that. They might go, Magic. They might go Gary Payton. They might go Lonzo, LaMelo. But for me, I like Shea. He's 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. And I honestly don't think he's that much worse than a guy like Penny Hardaway. Like, I'm really close to putting Shea over Penny, but I do think Shea is going to be a little bit worse. But offensively, he's really, really elite. He's got a great jump shot on quick timing. He's got the MJ dribble style. I mean, he's got Hall of Fame clamp breaker, quick first step. He's super fast with the ball in his hands, 92 speed, 92 acceleration. I mean, 6'6" at the point guard spot. I mean, he's a really good all-around point guard. He's only about 30,000 MT. Now, we're not talking about the best squad for value, but I mean, it is nice that you can get a top 3, top 2 point guard in the game for only 30,000 MT. And then at the backup shooting guard spot, this is honestly the toughest decision and the one that you could probably throw, three or four names out and they can all be at the backup shooting guard spot. But for me, I'm going to go with the Galaxy Opal MJ. I do think he's the second best shooting guard in the game, but what I will do is at the end of my bench, I'm going to throw Pink Diamond Kobe in the lineup because I do think he's the third best shooting guard in the game, and definitely you could argue is a better shooting guard than Jordan. But for my best possible team in the game, I'm going to throw Jordan at the backup shooting guard spot. I honestly feel like this card is actually super underrated. I mean, I know he's a Galaxy Opal and it's MJ, but I feel like not that many people have him in the top 3 shooting guards, and they would rather a guy like Kobe and maybe even Ricky Davis. But for me, I love this MJ card. He's 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. I mean, this card can do everything on the court at a very high level. He's one of the best defenders at the shooting guard position, maybe even the best, because he does have a 98 on-ball steal tendency and some amazing defensive stats and badges. Driving to the basket, he gets some crazy dunking animations, having Hall of Fame posterizer, limitless takeoff, 96 speed, 96 acceleration, with also having a 97 driving dunk and a 95 vertical as well. And he does have the Hall of Fame clamp breaker and the quick first step as well. I will say for MJ, the only flaw with the card is going to be his jump shot. Leaner is pretty decent. His dribble style, obviously the best in the game. Jump shot, I do wish was on quick timing. His release is a little bit slow and maybe a tiny bit baited, but other than that, I mean, this is damn near a perfect shooting guard in my team. And then at the backup small forward position, this is another really close call for me. I'm going to give it to the Pink Diamond Carmelo Anthony, and just like Kobe, I'm going to throw the Pink Diamond LeBron at the backup small, at the 13th man, or the last 3 players on the reserve. I'm going to have to throw LeBron. I do think him and Carmelo is a really close debate. I'm not sure why he's not showing up in the lineup, but yeah, I think this is a really close debate between Carmelo and LeBron. I think for this lineup off the bench, we need a little bit more offense. We have Shea, who's a pretty good ball handler, but I think we need a little bit more offense with having Jordan at the shooting guard spot, who can definitely score the ball, but isn't going to be a primary ball handler. I think if you went with this, then you might want to go LeBron to give you some lockdown defense. So it really depends on what lineup you guys are running. But for me, like I said, I'm going to go Carmelo at the backup 3. He's got one of the best jump shots in the game and one of the best offensive cards, at least at the small forward position. Now at the backup power forward, once again, so many different choices and so many different players you guys could go with. But for me, I'm going to give it to the Galaxy Opal Anthony Davis. And once again, in the 11th man spot, I'm going to throw Tim Duncan because I think you really could have Timmy D over a guy like Anthony Davis. But for my squad, I'm going AD at the backup power forward. I mean, this card can really do it all on the court. Like, there's really no flaws with AD. He's 6'10" with a 7'2" wingspan. I mean, just take a look at the stats and the badges. I mean, this card's a Galaxy Opal, 15 Hall of Fame badges, has pretty much 85 kind of in every single category. I will say the only flaw I think with this card is coming down to the jump shot. Like, his release is a tiny bit slow, sometimes hard to green, and sometimes you get some bad load up animations. But other than that, he's one of the best cards in my team and going to be our backup small forward. Now for the backup center position, to round off the best possible team in the game, once again, a tough decision. I think for most people, they would go Shaq, but I think honestly, guys like Hakeem, guys like Kristaps, like I think a lot of people might actually do this for their lineup. They might go Kristaps at the starting center position and then have a Kareem off the bench. So I think for the center position, it's a really tricky one. I think for my lineup, I would go with the Galaxy Opal Shaq though. I think Tim Duncan could maybe even play the backup center as well if you want to do this. So there's so many variations and different things you guys can do with this lineup. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my best 13-man lineup in the game? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.